All right. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Let's play around with the view. I'm gonna put me on speaker view so we can. Oh, there we go. Mute those mics, Alexi. Yeah, this is a little tricky with more people in the room. There we are. Welcome, everybody. The Rope It Up 2020 countdown. It is, I don't know, Blur's Day. What is it, Tuesday? January. Not much is happening in politics or in the world, so we're just chilling here at the Rope It Up room just outside the great city of Philadelphia. You see all this wonderful art and music on the wall behind me. These are all real things that you can find at Bandcamp, and that's kind of what this is all about, but it's also about reviewing the great music that we released in 2020. And we're coming to the end here. I'm going to play around here, welcome my partner in music and jokes and life, Mr. Fabian Brown. How are you, Mr. Brown?
Lewis. Partner in jokes? We do have some good jokes.
We have a good laugh, don't we? We really don't. How do you like it? I got all cleaned up for the show today. I'm ready to go. Clean shaven. I don't look like I've been hibernating.
No, not at all. In fact, anytime you see me with a hat on, it's because, well, coronavirus has allowed me to not comb my hair whenever I don't feel like it. So.
I combed mine this morning. That's the very least I could do. It's the very least I could do. So we are we got a heck of a show today. Everybody join in, but I want to mention. Please share this. Please comment. We're going to pick one person from the shares and comments each week, and this is the last chance to get what we call a big bag of dope. Some goodies from the Rope It Up archives, some CDs, some T-shirts. And that comes to you right on your doorstep, contactless and safe. So please do that. We're going to jump right into the mix here. I want to talk about politics today, just give you a heads up. So stay tuned for that. You'll get my take on the Deutsche Bank situation. But let's just jump into a track from, surprise, surprise, Tiny Records. Spirit Fingers with Mr. Greg Spiro.
There's no place for me without you.
All right, we are back. I am properly outfitted with headphones now. The things I forget. So beautiful. Fabian, real quick, top of the hour there. What did we hear there?
So we came in Spirit Fingers, courtesy Mr. Greg Spiro, with the track titled Maps, Tiny Records. You know, one of our newest imprints, Lewis. And I got to tell you, man, I'm enjoying everything that Greg is throwing at us. You know, I think you had said we had something around 70 plus singles last year.
69.
69 singles.
Mhm.
And I want to say Greg Spiro brought us maybe half of that. Okay.
At least. And you know, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put together a compilation of that so people can hear it. Yeah.
Love it. So stay tuned, you know, or revisit some of the previous shows and check out. We pretty much have a track from Greg almost highlighted on every show. So dig into that. And then right after that was a little bit of a surprise to me coming into this morning. From Johanna Bernhardt from Germany, we saw a little slideshow presentation, and there's another track to come. So stick around for something from her debut album. But I'm really excited this morning, Lewis, because we haven't had some special guests on this show, Rad TV. I don't know, maybe in a week
or so. Yeah.
A week plus. So I get the honor of introducing two cats from the group Snack Cat, and that is such a freaking fun name to say. You know, based out of New York City. It's so funny because they're a blend of, you know, I don't know, man. I would call it like pop, soul, R&B, jazz. And you know, I got a quick note here that I intentionally wrote down for this segment because so their influences are bands like Wolfpack and Bob Dylan and Tedeschi Trucks Band and Lake Street Dive and Jimi Hendrix and Chaka Khan. So if you read their bio, it's so funny because imagine you put all those artists together and they had a love child. Okay, that's what we would call Snack Cat. And it is so
a love litter.
A love litter. There you go. A love litter. And that's Snack Cat. And we have two cats from the band today here with us. So I want to introduce Mr. Alexi Glick and Mr. Jeff Koch. Welcome to RopeadopeTV, guys. How you guys feeling?
Doing all right, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, considering everything in the world, but yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm really good here, seeing you guys, and you know, listening to some music. And in this moment, I'm really good. So how are you guys?
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
for sure, man. For sure. No, we're kicking.
Yeah.
You know, Lewis inspired me to, you know, normally we do, you know, we're running down 2020 releases, right? For, you know, all the releases that we had last year. And normally what Lewis would do is just, you know, write a blog of all these releases. And he had this crazy idea. Well, I don't know how crazy it is, but he had this idea of, you know, getting on live stream every single morning and just creating programs and running down the tracks, which for me has been freaking super awesome. So I'm glad you guys took a minute to, you know, come on while we're highlighting a couple of your tracks today.
Yeah, no, thanks so much for having us.
I want to say, when faced with the prospect of writing about 69 singles and 75 releases, that's about 140 some odd blog posts. So I thought, if we just go live on TV and run them down, that'll be a little bit more fun. And it has gotten us up in the morning. My morning routine is usually, and this has been a great solace for me during this crazy time on planet Earth, is to get up early in the morning before sunrise and go for a 4 to 5 mile walk. And I've kind of had to abridge that a bit. I got out of my groove. So when I do continue this show, we'll do it a little bit later. But I want to share with everybody that I found yesterday. I found a pair of nesting bald eagles in suburbia, in somebody's front yard in a pine tree. Absolutely amazing. I saw one and I thought, well, that's a hawk with white tail feathers. Doesn't make any sense, right? So I went back, and yesterday I turned the corner and I saw the eagle flying towards me, down the street with a stick, and then looped into the top of the pine tree, and I ID'd it. I was like, that's a bald eagle. So then I went around the block, came back around, and then waited and sat there, and just put my iPhone up and just kept snapping pictures where I thought she was, because I saw her flying towards the nest, and I got a snap of the bald eagle. And just as that happened, I only saw one, right? Just as that happened, I hear whoosh, and the male lights out of the nest and heads down to another tree. So I went back there this morning, and it's pretty nice. She's just standing there guarding, and on the branch. But it's an abandoned house, so I'm a little concerned that some overzealous developer might come and try to cut that tree down. So if there's anybody out there that knows about those kinds of things, we need some help to protect these things. Anyway, that's my story of the day.
I like that, man.
Oh yeah.
Suburbia, New Jersey, bald eagles. What's going on? You don't get that in New York City. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
They got
You
the
just
rate.
get
You got
hawks in New
the
York.
and the not what's the
The red-tail hawks, like around Central Park.
but there's another type of bird of prey that they had literally put nests up in the top of the skyscrapers to take out the pigeons. A
Oh,
falcon. They put
Oh, the peregrine
falcons,
falcon.
something like
Yeah.
that up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd go to New York just to see one of those things come down
Yeah.
and take a pigeon away.
Yeah. I think there was they found like a mandarin duck in the reservoir, but then the duck was gone because someone probably stole it. But I think, but like for a month there was this like beautiful mandarin duck in the reservoir.
Wow. So let's jump in. Let's play some music and then we'll talk about it. Okay. So actually, give me a preview. The first track we have queued up.
It's Fight or Flight.
Want to just give us some background on this one, guys?
Yeah, totally. So Fight or Flight was kind of a song that actually, well, Breaking Point, the other single, I had started kind of writing before the pandemic, but this one was one where I just starting in April, once it was clear that I was in, New York City during the entire time, and I just couldn't leave my house. I just kind of went into this sort of composing frenzy because it was just the only way, it was my outlet. It was kind of how I dealt with, everything that was going on. And, so I wrote a lot of songs, and some of them weren't that great, but this one was one that turned out pretty well. And it has a pretty hopeful message. It kind of is, it's about kind of the values of hard work and perseverance. And it's kind of, the overall message is hard work will pay off, and we can get through this. And so this is one that I think has kind of a much needed sort of hopeful message for this this time. And it was actually something that I just kind of completely just, usually I'll write a song and then bring it to the band to arrange, but I couldn't do that this time because of this. So I kind of just did everything via Logic, and then would have band members fill in parts before we went to actually record the rhythm section live. So that was kind of the whole process for Fight or Flight.
Well, how did you then record?
So what we did, so this is crazy because Chantel is in Australia right now, Shark is in Singapore, David
sax players in Georgia.
is in Georgia,
Yeah.
and he just voted, yay,
We love Georgia.
He was the Cobb.
Yes, we
actually.
do.
His vote was one of those the Cobb votes. So that,
Nice.
So basically what we did is once we had everything kind of together, I really wanted a live rhythm section sound, but you got to be kind of safe. So just Jeff and Nathan went to the studio with me as well and recorded bass and drums.
Okay.
So that was live, and then everything else was recorded remotely, which is a little bit different than how we've recorded tracks in the past, which is more of a just live thing.
All right, let's play it, and then I'd love to hear Jeff's comments on that experience of tracking during
Yeah. Sorry, I talked too much.
During lockdown.
Yeah.
pavement. Yeah. Easy money or hard work. Keep your head on your shoulders. So keep those green eyes open wide. And let's journey into the night. Truth or lie. Time to choose a way. Black or white. Straight into the side. What path will you take? You feel like you're getting nowhere, and each new track is a new fail until you land on your feet. The days may feel like they're too short, while the journey's taking so long. So hit it hard and make change. So you found what you wanted, and now you're looking at the mountains. You gotta start somewhere. Keep on your trail. You feel lost and alone. You continue to grow. There's a voice in your bones saying keep on going. With each step that you take, a new mistake, and you get a little wiser. Let's keep those green eyes open wide, and let's journey through the night. Firefly, truth or lie, time to choose a way. Black or white, straight up to the side. What path will you take? You feel like you're getting nowhere, and each new track is a new fail until you land on your feet. The days may feel like they're too short, while the journey's taking so long. So hit it hard and make a change. Fight or fly, while truth or lie. Time to choose a way. Black or white, straight up to the stars. What path will you take?
All right, and we are back. The Rope It Up 2020 countdown, live from East Philadelphia at the Rope It Up room. My name is Lewis. I'm joined by Mr. Fabian Brown. Go Eagles! And we are joined today with some other curious animals. The snack cats, Alexi and Jeff. Welcome back, guys. We just heard.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
We just heard. I'm sorry, I'm still on the Go Eagles thing.
Go
I like
Jets.
the tie thing.
Go Giants.
Go Giants, go Jets. Okay, gosh. I thought we were a music show.
Yeah.
We just heard Fight or Flight, single from the fellas here, written and inspired during the COVID-19 pandemic. Jeff, I would love to hear some words from you about the process, from your point of view on recording that track, and then maybe Alexi, after that you can bring us up to queuing up Breaking Point, which is the next track that we're going to hear.
Sure. So so Alexi made the demo essentially for Fight or Flight. I'm trying to remember back maybe in like May or June, and he was like, hey Jeff, like what do you think about this? Could you record like a demo bass track over it, just to like get an idea of like where the track could possibly go? And this is how he kind of did it for every member of the band, right? Like, so as he said, Chantal's in Australia, our keys player Shark is in Singapore. Like, we have members all over the place right now. So this is the only way to really like, you know, send logic files to one another to create a track. So once the demo was complete, we brought it to the studio in August, and with Alexi, myself, and Nathan, our drummer, we used the demo recordings from, I think it was the demo vocals from Chantal and like some of those like demo guitar recordings as kind of a scratch track to record the final bass and drums.
Yeah.
So it was a very unlike Snack Cat process, but you know, it was, I mean, at that point it'd been like months since any of us had really like played together or like seen each other. So
yeah, you know, it's funny. I feel like in that way, it's also like our music is sort of we're a product of our circumstances. And this was,
right.
I feel like the way this track was made and, you know, was a complete example of that, you know. And yeah, so then we recorded, you know, Chantal's final vocals on top of the track once we cut out her, you know, scratch vocals. And then, you know, we kind of layered on top of that, you know.
Yeah. From demo to like one file at a time, essentially, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it was a really fun process. And, you know, John Agnello, the guy who, you know, basically produces most of our tracks these days, like, did this one again. And he's awesome. He's always so much fun to work with.
It was a great energy in the studio. Everyone. So, and I mean, obviously, we're all wearing masks. We're all like keeping our distance because, you know, that's already like you're in a confined space.
Yeah, recording with the mask does suck, but you know, you have to do it. You have, you know. Yeah.
There's a great section of David Byrne's book called How Music Works, where he goes into great detail about how music is created and makes the strongest case for music is created to a venue. You know, he points out that, you know, and instruments and style change based on the circumstances. So you didn't have drums, you know, loud African drums in a concert hall, right? They work in Africa, right? And the kind of instrumentation that works in the symphony is perfect for the concert hall. And likewise, punk rock was perfect for CBGBs, and country music was perfect for a small bar. So he points out, you know, his larger point is that musicians take the circumstances and create the music to fit the time and to fit the venue itself. And this is a very unusual version of that.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to see a lot more of it, and it would be interesting to see where music goes based on this.
Yeah, totally. And you know, Snack Cat, obviously, you know, I mean, our thing is the live show. You know, traditionally, you know, we have it's a very live sounding band, but you know, for this, we're like, either we can just, you know, sit on our butts and do nothing, or, you know, we can, you know, try to make some music. And I think, you know, and I think we all feel this way, that it really helped us get through these difficult times. You know, I don't know, in a you know, having something to create and having an outlet, you know, especially with something, you know, that we're this passionate about, definitely really made all the difference, you know.
Absolutely. Like, this was some of the highlights of the pandemic, just like having an Alexi track come into my email. It's like, hey, can you record some bass over this? Like, yes, absolutely. Like, let's get this going.
Let me see, what would I have to do today? Well, yeah.
Exactly.
Like, I have learned an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah.
Well, with that said, let's listen to this next track, and then we'll come back out and chat a little bit more. This one's called
Breaking Point.
Time to take off the keep pulling us apart. We have reached the breaking point. 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 We have been through this before, from Emmett Till to George Floyd. The arc is long, but bend it we must before this earth burns on a fascist cross. Right and the left keep pulling us apart. We have reached the breaking point. 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 We have reached the breaking point.
And we're back. Rope It Up 2020 countdown, hanging out with the cats from New York. Snack Cat, welcome everybody. This has been a fun conversation. Remember to share this, let people know about it, and you get thrown into, your name gets thrown in the ring to receive a big box of dope, a big bag of dope from Rope It Up. Welcome back, guys.
Yo.
Here we are.
I felt like I should do something different that time. I was going to say thanks for having us again, but then I thought a nice yo would be needed.
I want to jump into politics real quick before we move on, just for fun. I saw an article and I saw that it was on a blog that I didn't recognize. So I thought, well, maybe this is fake news. But then I saw it hit Reuters later. It had a horrible tagline. It said that the Deutsche Bank will cost Trump billions, but the story is that Deutsche Bank has severed ties with the Donald.
You must not be named.
Right, Voldemort, yeah, whatever.
45. That's
So,
it.
yeah, 45, exactly. But what they're doing, what I read in the line, and I need to research this, is that they are forgiving they're just calling it a wash, the $300 million loan, so they can sever ties with him immediately. And I thought, now that is what you call a payout.
Yeah.
Your job is done. You've caused havoc in the West for 4 years. Here's your 300 mil.
Yeah, insane. Completely insane.
That's nuts.
Unbelievably backwards.
I mean, I'd love to see people research that. I want to hear what the people who know about these things know. So get back to us. Was that the final Putin payment to the Donald? So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to imagine if any of us just tried to spend as much money as we possibly could and then just tried to start an insurrection, what would happen? Our loans probably wouldn't be forgiven.
No.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, I mean, there's certainly some planning that went into it.
Yeah.
It seems chaotic and it seems random.
Yeah.
But look, there are crazier plans that have made it.
Right.
Big shout to you guys for making music during lockdown. What I really would love to see is you guys being able to get to a venue. I don't know when people can come back to the United States with the assurances that they'll be able to leave again, but I hope they do. And I hope that you guys can get into a venue. I know that as we come out of this, there are going to be a lot of venues looking for live streaming as a more creative or a safer and more effective way of getting the word out. And I'm pretty hopeful about all of that. So are there any venues in your area that have talked about stuff like this? I heard from Rockwood the other day and I asked that question, but I haven't gotten a response yet.
Yeah, I was actually just gonna actually mention Rockwood. I know they're starting to do live streams now, and we obviously have a pretty close relationship with them. So
Mhm.
I'd imagine that as soon as like Chantal is back from Australia, we would do that. Uh, so yeah, I mean Rockwood. I believe the Knitting Factory has actually been doing some live streaming stuff too.
Oh, really? I didn't
Yeah,
know that. That's cool.
yeah. Um, they're doing it kind of across all their different venues.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean that's definitely something that we would be looking to do. As soon as we were able to, and then also I'm hoping that we can play like some at least outside shows. This year, even before it's maybe safe to play inside. So yeah, I mean we're definitely hopeful. I mean it seems like there is a light at the end of the tunnel, but we just need to kind of make it over that last hurdle, I guess.
We're almost there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm personally, I'll feel much better in 7 days.
Yeah. Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I think
Or
a lot of us
Yeah.
will
maybe
feel
eight
better.
days. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see where we are. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Fabian. What's the URL? We got that in. It's right there in the comments.
It's in the chat. It's in the comments, guys. Check out snackcat.bandcamp.com for all their amazingness. Not only from these two singles that you heard, but they've given us, a bunch of music over the past couple of years. So just definitely check that out. Support them. A like, comment, and a share goes a long way for musicians and artists these days. And obviously, the support that you can do on Bandcamp for these cats.
I want to comment on that. I mean, we have seen a 250% increase in support on Bandcamp in 2020. And I hope that continues into 2021 with our Bandcamp days and other things. It's the fastest way for musicians to get paid. It's the highest yield, the highest net dollar amount that comes from the service, because Bandcamp only takes 10% as opposed to Spotify and others. And I also want to point out that high quality downloads are something that you should collect and put aside on a drive. The web, if it continues in its current iteration, you're going to have less and less control over anything that you are streaming or owning online. And it's going to be like everything. When I was a kid, I went to McDonald's, and man, those hamburgers are good. Now, this is a long, long time ago. But now it's just a Big Mac, man. There's no nutritional value whatsoever. So high quality downloads have high quality, high nutritional value. Save them, put the headphones on, listen to the music as the artist would when they were listening to it, listening back at the studio, and have that collection. And it really doesn't cost much. And honestly, it's just it's a gift to the world to keep these folks employed and doing what they do, which is taking all of this chaos that we deal with and all of this negative energy that is constantly coming our way and balancing it out with art and positive messaging. So that is something that we all need to pay attention to, cultivate, nurture, and fortunately we have this simple way for you to do it. Go pick up a high quality download and put it in your collection. So, that's my
Love it.
salesman pitch.
Yeah.
There we go. Fabian, go ahead, please.
Well, I want to thank the fellas at Snack Cat, and you guys are more than welcome to hang out for the remaining of the show. We have a few more tracks coming up. We're going to head over actually to Germany to hear a track from Johanna Bernhardt. Really interesting. She's classically trained in voice and piano. Her main chops are on violin, and obviously when you think of violin, kind of taking it back to Lewis's comment earlier, you think of these concert symphony halls, right? And that's cool. But her background coming up, consuming music was in the clubs, hearing the I'm not going to really the techno and house.
6 a.m. already?
Some of you guys will get that joke later, but I got that right away, Lewis. I was actually on time with that joke.
People are raving about that joke.
But you guys get it? I don't know. Anyway, this is usually the off-camera banter. But no, here's the short and the skinny of it. You know, her musical influences in her debut album, you really hear a lot of that. You hear her classically trained chops, you hear her influences, you know, growing up. And, you know, with technology these days and your ability to, like, the violin was not intended to be electrified. But what she does with that instrument is nothing short than freaking amazing. So we have a track coming up from her titled Box Office. So hope you guys enjoy this next track.
Smoking. Chance
Yeah,
Hayden, Atlanta Records.
Gotta love that sharp 11 at the end of the chord progression blues. Chance Hayden, Atlanta
I'm sorry, I
Records.
don't speak music. What is that?
It's just the way to end a chord progression with a funky chord at the end. That's all. Nothing nerdy. Nothing nerdy at all, Lewis. We
I
have
understand the concept. The human brain has to have closure. Is that correct?
that is 100% correct. Or a suspended lift of belief at the very end, right? Chance is a cool cat, dude. You know, really, it's funny, you know, getting to know him a little bit over the past year or so plus, and then, you know, relating his personality to his playing. It's so laid back. You can hear the blues, heavy blues influence, obviously the jazz influence, and that album is definitely something else. On the album, you know, we didn't hear Sarah Clark on vocals on that. However, she's on the album. Chance Hayden obviously on guitar. We have Michael Elson on organ, Alex Milstead on electric piano and synth, J.P. Downer on bass, and Tyrone Hendricks on drums. And you know, Alexa, maybe you could speak a little bit to what you just heard. You know, from one guitar player to another guitar player. What were you picking up from that track?
Yeah, you know, it was really cool how he was kind of combining a lot of different sort of influences, you know. I mean, you know, the tone, it was definitely like blues guitar playing, but a lot of the language was kind of more, you know, jazz, especially the harmony, you know, it was kind of like, you know, nice like shuffle blues, but it, you know, there was some serious harmony going on there, you know. So that I really dug that. And yeah, definitely like very sort of like, you know, like he has like a ton of blues language, but also like, you know, kind of delivered in sort of like a laid back, you know, not in your face kind of way, which is cool, you know. And I'm just a sucker for organ too, you know. I mean, like, it's just like, oh, it's not fair though. All they need to do is just like hold out a note and it sounds amazing, you know. Like on a play, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
like I just held out a note for a while. People be like, what is he doing? Like, again, they just go, and it's like the best thing ever, you know.
Jeff, that's funny, Alexi. What were you feeling, Jeff?
I was loving, like, yeah, it's just kind of like the same boat as Alexi. The language, the feel, like, I'm also a sucker for organ. Like, it's cool. Like, it felt so full. And like when you said like the personnel, it's like organ, piano, and bass. And I was like, okay, that's why it feels like extra full for me. It's like, you know, I guess you might not usually have all of those components, or at least for my ear, but that was awesome. I really dug it.
I love it, guys. Thanks for hanging out too here. We're just counting down, you know, Rope-a-Dope 2020 releases, and it's been fun for me going down memory lane, and just getting to revisit all these amazing tracks that, you know, I was listening to throughout the year. And we're here with Snack Cat and Lewis. Back to you, my friend.
Well, first I'm going to apologize for the background noise, but it's so cold in the Rope-a-Dope room that I could no longer have the heat off. Did my best. Loving everything that Atlanta Records is putting out, and people can go to Bandcamp, ropeadope.bandcamp.com, and just find the imprint up there, Atlanta Records. Don't get lost in all the others. Start with Atlanta. And releases from 2020 are the Chance Hayden release, which is wonderful, and also Brenda Nicole Moore, and we'll have some more in 2021. But please support and shout out to all the people in Atlanta that we love and miss. That hope to get back there one day. I'm developing my little list of places to go when lockdown is lifted. Atlanta is on that. And shout out to them for helping to save the democracy of the United States of America. We owe you a great debt for that for some time. Let's come back to New York. Analog Players Society. Ben Rubin, aim and drum. The Bridge Studio. What's the? Give me some backstory on this one. It's going to get very exciting. This track is just super amped.
Yeah, man, it's interesting because you know, first of all, you know, Eamon Drum, he's just known for collecting the cats, man, collecting, you know, the heavy hitters on the scene, throwing them in the room, playing music, recording and then doing the magic post-production, right? And as you mentioned, Rope It Up artist Ben Rubin kind of revisited that, reconnected with Eamon, and they put together, they had a mission, right? They wanted to record 2 jazz standards and just see what happened, right? There was no rules, no you do this, you do that. It was like, we're gonna get the cats in the room, we're gonna hit the record button, and we're gonna frickin' play, right? And that's what they did. And with the idea and the intention behind it in post-production, they were gonna slice and dice it and grab these sample pieces, right? So what you're going to hear is a single from the album soundtrack for a non-existent film, a song titled Chase, and love to hear what people think in the comments. So we'll talk a little bit more when we come back to this.
All right, here we go. Buckle up, everybody. So exciting.
We just heard Chase. I mean,
Chase.
Chase. Donnie McCausland, David Bowie. You know the name. Warren Evans, The Bad Plus.
Philly. Shout out to Philly.
Desron Douglas. Eric McPherson, Ben Rubin, Eamon Drum. I mean, have you seen? I'm not sure if you've seen the video for this, but it is exactly what you could picture in your mind as the video is going through and the music underneath of it. Really powerful, really great stuff. That comes from their album Tilted that we released here in August 28th of 2020, and just amazing stuff. And I mean, that's what I got, Lewis.
We'll have more. I put the album cover for Soundcheck for a non-existent film in the art there to go with, just to let you know that we're going to have more from them. I think this week, right? So
right.
Should have them back up again, and I think we'll air that video at the next Rope-a-Dope Music and Arts Festival, which will be taking place on February 4th and 5th. It'll be 3 in the afternoon on the 4th for folks who are in Europe. And then 4 or 5 p.m. I think on the 5th for the next Bandcamp day, and we're just going to put together a collection of released and unreleased videos from Rope-a-Dope artists. Some of the highlights. It's a nice way to spend some time and listen to some good music, see some great visuals. So put that on the calendar.
I love it. Well, we're gonna round out this episode, Lewis, with one more track, and then I'll give it back to you before we close out. But I've been practicing this for a little bit off camera. All right.
Oh yes, here we go. Let's see how we do.
Sued Nadayapa Bergman Saunders. I'm not sure how I did on that, but
I think you did great.
It sounds like a law firm, but it actually is a group of phenomenal.
Cheatham and Howe. Yeah.
We keep getting phenomenal music from Mr. Todd Clauser, Rope-a-Dope Sir, outside of Mexico City, and this album is it meets right where the other albums are coming from. Sued from Argentina and bassist from Massachusetts. They got together, over in Amsterdam. They were playing some music together and decided to put it all together on album here. We had a chance to talk to these cats, I believe, at the last Rope-a-Dope Festival, or maybe it was the holiday party. I'm kind of getting things confused here. And just genuine, both. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Just awesome people, man. I love what Todd's doing as far as his curation of music. You're getting a lot of rich, almost like folk type blended, mosh posh music. And it's just really interesting to hear his creative ear and find these amazing musicians and very talented people from all over the globe and put them on the Rope-a-Dope Sir label. So I'm excited. That's the last track that we're gonna go out with. Snack Cat, I want to thank you guys for just hanging and being a part of the Peanut Gallery here.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
Thanks for having us,
Always
guys.
a lot of fun.
Awesome. And Lewis, back to you just to close this out, man.
Yeah, I too want to say thanks to the Snack Cat members that were able to attend. Really great to see you guys. Lifted my spirits, and hope we see you again at the festival on the 4th and 5th. We will have an artist hang at that time, and one of the things we're going to do is invite some fans into the room as part of our mission to sort of circle the wagons and connect. The final plugs for the whole network. It's like Christmas Vacation when he finally puts the last plug in. It makes all the lights go on, and that final piece of the puzzle are you, the fans. And we want to start having fans interacting and talking with musicians directly in this venue, in this format, as we get to the festival. One of the things I learned in 2020, and I spend a lot of time observing the music business because it's my job, but when COVID hit, we thought, well, artists are going to lose all of their revenue because they aren't able to tour, and fans are going to have this incredible loss of the ability to go out and see live music and miss that whole thing. But what I didn't understand, but quickly came to understand, is that there's an emotional, life-sustaining component for the artists themselves to see the audience. As we said earlier, music isn't made in a vacuum. It's not, as much as some of these pop musicians and others are locked up in studios with just a handful of people. It's really about connecting with fans and getting the feedback and the love and the response from you, the fans. And so that's kind of what's missing with live music not happening now. And I know that this is not the choice of venue, but this is the choice of venue right now in the world that we live in. So I'm urging fans to connect with us, to put those comments in on our Facebook page, on artist Facebook page, on Bandcamp. People read these comments, artists read these comments, and this is what continues to sustain them. So please do that, as well as supporting financially if and when you can. We will be back tomorrow morning with...
Sorry for the mute there. We have, another monster lineup for episode 16. Excuse me. We have Tarangali. We have Middle Blue. We have music from Gordon Campbell, Sean Martin. Another track from APS Analog Players Society, The Special, and another track from Carolyn Samuelson. So we have some tiny records in there, some Rope-a-dope. We're going to Dallas. We're going to New York. We're going all over the place tomorrow.
It's going to be fun. All right. Shout out again to Alexi and Jeff for being here. We appreciate you. Keep making great music. We're going to go out, and we'll see you all tomorrow morning. This is Sued Nandayapa Bergman Sanders. Did I get it?
You got it, man. You
All
got
right.
it.
See y'all tomorrow.
Thank